Welcome into the next edition of Big Z Sports 2-A-Days. Big thanks to the Garaway Pirates for letting us come out here today and talk to the head coach Jason Wallick, Chris Kail, Joe Geckler with you here this morning. And Chris, the Garaway Pirates, every year we talk about them. Last year, 14-1, 5-0 in the IVC. They get knocked off in the state semifinals, the farthest this program has ever been. A historic year for the Pirates. Jason Wallick going into his 24th year as head coach. We were talking off the air. This is a program. This isn't a team. And what Jason's built out here is pretty special.
Yeah, it absolutely is. It's one of those teams that you know, or programs that you know, is going to be at the top of the heap year in, year out. They don't rebuild, they just reload. And by the way, the Garaway Pirates brought to you by Eagle Machinery this year. So thank you to them for jumping on board. And always great to have new sponsors on board with staples in our community like Garaway.
Yeah, absolutely. And look back at their schedule a little bit last year. You know, like we said, they ran kind of roughshod through their schedule. They had some challenges along the way, but really did a nice job with all that talent that they had. A lot of that talent's gone, so it'll be interesting though, Chris, to see how Coach Wallick is and how what he says here today.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when you look Jackson Reifenschneider, Jensen Garber, Wyatt Wallach, Peyton Keller, Gabe Amicone, Ethan Kimball, all not here, but you return a Brady Geibel, you return a Dylan Sunland, you return a Bronson Speedy. There's a lot of kids back, and like we said, they don't rebuild, they just reload. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see what Coach Wallick has to say.
You know, you forgot one key guy that they could use a lot this year. He set a school record last year with a 48-yard field goal, and that's Gio Colon. So their kicker, they've got something special with him, and they may use him a little bit more this year.
Yeah, I think he was our Big Z Sports Special Team Player of the Year.
Yes, he was. And so Gio's back for his senior year, so it's going to be fun to watch these Garaway Pirates. And we'll talk with Jason Wallick and be interested to see what he has to say. Big Z Sports 2-A-Days out here at Garaway High School. Joe Geckler welcoming in head coach Jason Wallick. And Coach, 24th season of head coach here at the Garaway facility on the hill here in Sugar Creek. And Coach, you're coming off of a historic season for your program. State semifinals appearance. You get knocked off by Kirtland, who went on to win the state title. But historic run. You kind of ran through the playoffs pretty easily. But you know what? What a historic season, a fun season for you guys. And talk about that season one last time.
Yeah, it was very historic. Very enjoyable. Kids played hard. Wish we would have one half back against Kirtland. Thought, there in the first half we played really, really well, and then things just kind of snowballed during the second half. And, our program's come a long way from getting beat 52-14 by Kirtland, having a shot. And the community support was just unbelievable. And that's not just the Sugar Creek community, just the county support was unbelievable. Up at Louisville, the stands were full, and it was loud, and press box was shaking, and it was.
Yes, it was.
It was a great year. It was a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And talk one last time about, that senior class. They were special, Coach, and they won a lot of football games in their 4 years here on the Hill. And, that class is going to be hard to replace, just like all of them are. But, talk about that senior class just a little bit here for us.
There were some really special kids in that class, obviously. And, they all contributed in their own ways. They worked their tails off, set the bar high for this class, the next group coming. But they won 40 whatever games in 4 years here on the Hill, or just throughout their career, and just a very special group. And that class was special because the class before them was obviously really good also, and they kind of lived in their shadows all those years. And when it was their turn, they stepped up, and the rest is history.
Absolutely. History it is. But, Coach, looking at the schedule here in 2024 now, week 1, you have Riverview, then you have Waynedale, the Bears, week to week, Black Bears, then the Golden Bears, and then you go down to West Muskingum. You bring in a new opponent, Cardinal Mooney out of Youngstown. That's in week 4. And then the first half of the schedule winds up here with the north opponent of the IVC in Malvern. Talk about the first half of the schedule and, how you feeling about it.
Well, we feel the first half is going to prepare us for the IVC, and the IVC we feel prepares us for a tournament run. So, bringing in Mooney is a big game for us here. West Muskingum's still going to be really good, even though they lost Rashid. I mean, it's tough. And then you got Malvern as your crossover game. That's they won their side of the league last year, and be a tough opponent as well.
For sure. And then obviously you mentioned the gauntlet of the IVC South. You get some of your key games here on the Hill. You get Ridgewood week 10. You get Indian Valley here week 7. 6 home games for the Pirates. How'd you swing that one? You get instead of 5, you get 6 this year, and get an extra game for those seniors out here.
Yeah, anytime we can bring an opponent here and play in front of our crowd, it's definitely an advantage. So we believe the Hill's a tough place to play, and anybody we can bring in to play here is a bonus. So yeah, getting that 6th game, we did that a couple years ago as well. And like I said, anytime we can play in front of our home crowd, it's an enjoyment.
A new set of captains this year for you. You have Brady Geibel, Dylan Sunland, Bryce Yoder, and Bronson Speedy, and those guys are going to be leading all year and helping this team go. And you got some key returners. I just mentioned a couple of them, but Brady Geibel, your quarterback, Dylan Sunland, Bronson Speedy, Braden Raber. You have Gio Cologne, your kicker, who Chris and I kidded about in the opening segment. You may need to use him a little bit this year and get him some kicks during games. But, a lot of talent still coming back, though, off of last year's team.
Yeah, defensively, we lost, I think, 9 starters, I believe, 8 or 9. And offensively, we've got some returning guys, some guys that got a lot of valuable playing time. So right now we feel we're a little ahead offensively than we are defensively at this time, and normally it's the other way around. So it's a little bit of a concern, especially, when your standards are shut out each week. And but we've got guys who are working hard, guys that are have waited their time, and it's been a great off season for us. Great turnouts in the mornings for lifting and all summer long, and it's this group's ready to make their mark on the program as well.
You talk about weightlifting and getting in the weight room. Talk to us, man. You got that weight room towards the end of the season last year. It finally opened up for you. You got to use it. How big of an asset is that for you and your program and the community and the school, really?
Yeah, it's been huge for us. We've got a couple lifting classes in there as well that that they're taking advantage of, and it's a unbelievable facility. We've had college coaches come in and wish they had that type of facility. So, we're very blessed. It has really shown strength-wise with our kids. Now we'll see if it transitions over to the field. So we're hoping.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach, every season's a new challenge and a new era, so to speak, and coaches around the area, we've learned that always have a motto to the season. And what is Coach Wallick and the Garaway Pirates, what is your motto this year?
Our motto is Feel the Sting, which people probably think, well, you're not the Hornets, but or the Killer Bees. Yeah. But coming home on the bus last year after Kirtland, excuse me, Coach West just looked over halfway home and said, "Feel the sting." He said, "That's our motto for next year. Instead of feel the pain, just the sting of the Hornets from, that hurt,
yeah, sure.
And it is still hurting. It'll still hurt until we get that first win this year. So, feel the sting, and hopefully our guys all winter long have felt the sting in the weight room, and they felt the sting up here during 2 days, and hopefully we can let a little bit of that out come week 1.
Well, Coach, as always, man, thanks so much for letting us come up and talk with you and, view your practice and talk to the guys a little bit. And Big Z Sports will have you 5 times this year for your games, and we appreciate the access and all you do for us. And, we wish you nothing but the best, and we'll see you a bunch this year. Thanks
for all the pressure, Joe. Appreciate it.
That was head coach Jason Wallick joining us here on our two-a-days. Back after this. Welcome back in. Chris Kail here with Joe Geckler and Coach Wallick. He's always excited about this season. He knows there's some challenges that lie ahead of him. He lost some of that talent from last year, but that's nothing new for him the last 2 years. They lost a lot of talent 2 years ago, and they weren't sure coming into practice last summer or last fall of how this team was going to be. Well, they went to state semifinals. And this year, kind of the same boat a little bit. You lose some more talent, but, dude, they got some talented kids coming back. We talked about it a little bit with him there in the interview, but he's excited. He's always optimistic.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I'm interested to see how the schedule plays out this year. We know Coach Wallick won't talk about schedules and next games and everything else.
Next games or kids. And, I forced him to talk about a little bit of them there, but he didn't really individually talk about any kids. I just mentioned some.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting, right? I mean, I'm interested to see how that Mooney game turns out in Week 4. That's a great addition to the schedule for them this year, bringing in a powerhouse, a perennial powerhouse like Youngstown Cardinal Mooney. That Malvern game in Week 5 is going to be electric. I think it's going to be a really good game right out here on the hill. This place should be crazy. And then, of course, the IVC schedule, you look at Indian Valley, Tusky Valley, Sandy Valley, Ridgewood, all going to be tough opponents like they always are. So, you never know what can happen in the IVC is flip a coin.
Yeah, on a year like this, when you lose some talent like that, you get 6 home games. So you get some familiarity with the kids, but you get your most prolific games here on the hill with Indian Valley, Ridgewood, Mooney, Malvern, Week 1 with Riverview. So you get that familiarity here. You get going, and you only got to travel 4 times. And, then you get into playoffs.
Yeah.
You're hoping for a couple more home games, and then you get back on the road. But, with a year like this year, they're losing some of that talent. They get all those home games. I think that's going to help.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun season, and just looking forward to covering all the schools and appreciate all the schools giving us this access like they do each and every year. Couldn't do it without great coaches and great programs.
Absolutely, and that's going to wrap up our time here, our 2 days at Garaway High School on the hill in Sugar Creek. For Coach Jason Wallick, I'm Joe Geckler. He is Chris Kail. We'll see you at the next stop.